Thank you so much for joining us on Straight Out of Savannah. I am so super excited. Today, I have my guest, Luke Scott III, and he is going to share with you who he is, and he's going to share what he does and how he can help you. So, Luke, take it away.
Welcome, everyone. It's my absolute pleasure to be here. I had this huge awakening in 2016, and my entire life changed. I became happy. I became healthy. I became what I now call aligned. I found my purpose, and I've been teaching others now how to find theirs. And if you feel like your life is not flowing as you'd like it to right now, if maybe you feel there's some areas out of alignment, we can bring you back so that you can enjoy your life, because life is made to be enjoyed. And I teach a quantum healing modality called Q-RIT, and it is the fastest way I ever found to clear limiting beliefs, fears, phobias, anything holding you back, physical pain, mental pain. And now I teach that, and we're on a mission to end suffering for the whole world. Like anyone or you listening right now, you
Yes.
can find a whole next level of flow. And I'm going to do a little activation for you shortly as well to help you just click whatever is needing to be clicked into place.
Yeah, that is so powerful. So now let's go and talk about how you arrived here. Like, you weren't born doing QRIT. So how did you get from where you came from to this world? Because I know that story because I lived that story, but I want to hear how you did it and what were you doing prior to doing this type of work?
Yeah, I was dropped off in a spaceship in 2016. They were like,
Love it.
the world needs you to to come down and sort it out. Uh, my background's in corporate. I worked in a $2 billion company. We had like 16,000 employees, and I worked my way up into this senior level in the company. And I was very much a bee in a beehive. And we were
Mhm.
busy making honey and building other people's dreams, right? But I was paid well for it. I had a nice house and company car, and nice girlfriend and cats and all the things you're supposed to want. But I was waking up and I was miserable. I was like
Yes.
dreading going and spending another day on a computer on spreadsheets, like doing something I don't even really care about. I was selling software, I was selling accounting software, and
Okay.
it's this really interesting thing when you know you're trading your soul for money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's okay for a while, but then
Yep.
it's not. You get to
Yes.
a point where it's like, okay, this is out of integrity.
Yes.
And that's the challenge that a lot of people have, and the opportunity that a lot of people have right now. Because if you know you're out of integrity, how do we get you into integrity?
Yes.
And so I set off on this path, and I met these people, Tammy, and they were actually happy. They had these big smiles on their faces, and they loved life, and they weren't even drunk or they weren't even on drugs. They were just sober. And I was like, tell me your secret. And they told me their secret was meditation. They told me that they loved God. And I didn't believe in God pre 2016. I was totally atheist. I didn't believe in any of that stuff. And I wanted to be more like them.
Mm-hmm.
So I started hanging around with them. They made me do all this weird stuff. Started teaching me about energy healing, and he started teaching me about healing trauma, and I started doing this dancing called five rhythms. It's like ecstatic dancing, and I learned how to like free my body and free my mind. And
Yes.
bit by bit, piece by piece, I like these layers came off, and
Yeah.
I got to this core of who I am.
Mm.
And the core of who I am is this beautiful, soft guy that loves hugs and loves physical touch and is a big kid and just wants to play. And
Yes.
then I look at my life that I'd made, which was very serious.
Yeah.
There was not a lot of joy there. And I was using alcohol and drugs and different thing and food and sex to like create this escape every
Yes.
weekend.
To cope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a trap. It's a massive trap that most of us fall into. And it's my absolute pleasure to help people get out of that trap. And even you can be a multi-millionaire, even a billionaire. I've got a friend who's got a billionaire client right now, and they are miserable, right? Because even though they've mastered the money game,
Mm-hmm.
They've got terrible relationships and their health is really bad, and they're not really enjoying their life. So I think there's always deeper levels of love and joy for most people
Yeah.
wherever you are right now. Let's tap into those.
So that tells you, something that I tapped into, that it's not money. Not that you don't need that. Now, let's clarify that. But I mean, it's not money that ultimately makes you happy.
Mm.
And that was huge what you said, because so many people think that. They think, oh, if I just had, more money, if I just had, $1 million, if I hit the lottery, or if, my business is doing, 10K, 100K months or whatever, people think that is the answer. But what you said is no, because if people are billionaires and they're still miserable, then that can't be the answer, right?
I teach this tool called the Wheel of Consciousness, and you
Mm-hmm.
basically map out 10 key areas of your life, and we score them out of 10. So you look at your health and you give it a score of 1 to 10 and see where it's at, and your finances and your love life and all the different areas are important. Um, if your finances are 10 out of 10, but your health is 2 out of 10, you're going to be unhappy.
Yes, you
And so
are.
it's how do you get all 10 areas in a good place? And what
Yes.
most people do is they sacrifice their health for their career,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Mm-hmm.
end up getting stressed and burnt out, and they're taking anxiety medication and all of this stuff so they'll make money, build up that part,
Yes.
but at the detriment of all the other parts. So that's not holistic. If you want to have a holistic life where all 10 areas are in a good place, we have to change the way we play the game. So I teach a lot about efficiency. I teach a lot about how to be smart. It's a big part of my design, and what I'm here for is trying to get people out of that trap of exchanging their time, their life, their soul for money. Because I found a way to do that. Mostly the way I do it is through online courses. I teach people to build a course. You record it one time, you put it out there. Now that you can just pass that on forever. You can make money while you sleep, do
Yes.
different investments, different passive income streams.
Yes.
And that's just that one money piece, right? But most people's wealth strategy is just fundamentally flawed. They're going to work for 40 years to retire and get a state pension and like be broke, and then have to go work in a supermarket on a checkout when they're 80 years old. It's crazy.
Walmart greeter. That's what we always
Breaks
say.
my heart, Tammy, when I see those people because they don't want to be there.
I'm telling you, when you look at it like that, it's like, because I'm the same way. This is my journey as well. Like, I am leaving a 30-year career behind. And I think I had spoke to you before about I was having problems sleeping. That's why we didn't get the interview the last time, because I overslept. But I was like, I'm having problems sleeping, and I had to like dig deep and see, what really was at, the core of it. Part of it is because I work night shift typically, and so sometimes my body still thinks I'm going to work, but I'm not. And but the other part is I'm in the middle of making this transition of coming out of here, this career, this thing that I've been doing for over 30 years, and moving into, basically the unknown. That's kind of, I think that is kind of how my mind looks at it. It's like, okay, yes, I have this opportunity, and to exercise the faith that I know that I have, to move out. But then there's that other little part, where you're scared, just a little bit. And, and so I actually found you like this. This is how I found you. You were talking about this very thing on another program on YouTube. And I said, he's speaking my language. And so I watched you for a while, and I think I really feel like that's probably how a lot of people find you. I
Yeah, I've been making these videos now since 2016, and I've done hundreds of podcasts. I have my own TV show, I have my own radio show. I had 2 radio shows. I'll speak anywhere. I do ebooks. I've got everything. Like, you just keep creating content and putting it out there, and trusting the right people will come and
show up.
be
Yes.
energized. And it's not for everybody because
No.
It takes a strategy to exit call it the matrix or the game or whatever you want to call it, right?
Yes.
It takes a strategy, and then it takes commitment. You have to really decide. I'm a geek. I
Yes.
love etymology. And when you look at the word decide, it's a fantastic thing. So side is like genocide, homicide, right? It means to like
Okay.
cut off, to kill off, to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
So to decide is to like get rid of any other options. And you know when someone has decided,
Yeah.
like when they are like enough is enough, when they decide I'm going to lose £100 in
Yes.
weight, they do it, right? They've
Mhm.
decided. If they haven't
Yes.
decided, they'll still eat the cookies, right? They'll still, they haven't decided yet. They're not fully in.
Yes.
And so that's one of the big things is like when you've got a beautiful big smile, I know you've got so much magic to share. And if you're stressed and anxious and you're worried about XYZ, you're not going to be able to shine as brightly as you might do if
Yes.
you're more relaxed and if you have good people around you.
Yes.
So that's like a big thing I do. I create tribes. So we've got our Q-RIT tribe. Everyone's a quantum healer. Everyone wants to make the world a better place. And so you
Yeah.
find friends, you find support, because I was really lonely doing my entrepreneurship journey a lot of the time. And
Yeah.
so how do you surround yourself with the good people and make it fun? Because it
Yes.
should be fun being a creator. It should be
That's what.
fun, not so intense.
See, you speak my language because that's actually what I said to myself. I said, I want to create something that I have fun, and for me, I do a lot of different things. Like I love the courses. I do. I love to create courses. I love to do workshops, that same kind of stuff like you do. I love that. And so I was like, all right. But I worked with somebody like a couple years ago and they were like, oh no, don't do that, because I was like, well, I could do a membership. No, no, don't do that. Don't do this. And they were like, oh, we'll do this. But my heart wasn't in it. It wasn't what I wanted to do. And I've seen that so many times, especially, and I say this, it wasn't like a spiritual coach, so they were like, all into the masculine, where we want to be in the flow, I want to be in alignment, and so that's one of the things that I think that your program is good for that. I really do. The more I'm diving into it, because I went through it already once. So now like I'm going back again, doing the notes and all that kind of stuff because that's how I have to do. But it just feels like you help people to get into alignment, like in their life. And it's almost like what you said, if you're coming out of corporate or I call them soul sucking jobs. And then you want to move into something that gives you more freedom, and I feel like that is what the benefits of Q-RIT, one of the benefits, because there's many benefits, I believe, but I believe that's one of the benefits. So can you speak on that, because I know that probably was a part of your motivation um to create this.
Yeah, freedom's one of my highest values.
Me too.
When I see someone in a cage or in a prison, I'm like, oh, are you happy there? Like, do you want to come and like spread your wings and give them an invitation? Not everyone wants to spread their wings. It's a quote from the Matrix. It's like some people are so deeply in the system, they'll even do anything they can to protect it. Like they don't want to
Yes.
come out, they don't want to break free.
Yes.
But it's not to make someone do something they don't want to do, but like I inspire the people who are ready for that.
Yeah.
And so when people come and learn Curate, because I've done so many courses and trainings, and I take the best bits I've learned and I leave the parts that I didn't like. So a lot of trainings and courses, you have to follow their system. It's like there's some dogma you have to believe in, and I
Hmm.
teach you how to do your own thing.
Yeah.
And one of the superpowers I have is I've got very good masculine energy. So that's like the structure, and I'm very in tune with the feminine energy. And if you don't like those terms, everyone, it's not about your genitals. Like, doesn't matter. You call it yin yang or whatever you want. Right? It's
Right.
not
Right. Right.
about being a man or a woman.
Hmm.
Um, they're just terms to describe energy.
And we all
So
have.
I'm really yeah, and you find your own way to be with that. But a
Yeah.
river, in order for a river to flow, it needs to have strong banks.
Yes.
And that's the masculine. If there's no banks, the river just goes like that and it goes all
Yes.
over the place.
Yes.
Causes a flood, right? So the banks are important, the river's important. And most people either don't have one or don't have the other, or they have too much of one and it causes all sorts of problems. So giving people that permission to like find their own way. So if
Yes.
I was your coach and you come to me with an idea, I'm going to find the highest way for you to bring that idea into life.
Yes.
Now, we have to be really careful who we get advice from.
Yes.
Everyone, open the ears, okay? You have to be really aware and conscious of who you ask advice from because not everybody's your person.
Yes.
Not everybody knows what you know. Like you are a unique being. You are here for some specific, incredible journey. Like only you have your life experience. Like you might be the person that cures cancer. You might be the person that writes a book that changes the whole political system. Like you might reform the education system. Who knows? But if you listen to that person who's only about money, that might not be the best information. Or that might be the exact information that you need, and only you can like discern that. So I love it, Tammi. I love helping people get clicked into place, and it's so fun for me because I don't even need to know anything. Like you're studying Q-RIT, right, to become a Q-RIT practitioner. You don't tell the person anything. This is one of the differences with quantum healing. Like I'm not telling you what to do. We help them find their own answer.
Yes.
When you can do that, you are one of the most powerful beings in the world. So I have a free session that anyone who's watching this you can do. Tammy's going to pop the link below. This is my gift to you, completely free, entire Q-RIT session. Dive in, plug in any area of your life, if it's your career or your health or your relationship or finances or whatever. And I have someone who just redoes that same free session over and over and over again.
I could see
Like,
that. I could see that.
says every time I do it, I get something different, and I'm just like
But,
amazing.
but
So
that is, but that's so.
look, please don't stay stuck, everyone, any longer than you choose to.
Yeah. And that's important. It's like, if we could all just do that, imagine the world. If we could all just, get out from under all of the limiting beliefs and all the things that, because, I'm finding on my journey that as I dive into, and as I open myself up to more understanding and actually looking, I see patterns. I look, I'm like, oh my God, okay, so this happened, so I did that. And then, I did this again. And then, 10 years later, I did it again. Oh my God, that's a pattern, and that's something, you think about it's like, it could be something that, your parents told you, or it could be something you learned at school, or, it could be something that, I mean, heaven forbid, a classmate told you, and you just internalize it and you just perpetuate it and you keep going. Or what I find for me is like, say, experiences that I've had that are negative, something that happened in the history that, in my past that was bad or whatever. And when those situations arise again, then you have a choice to make. Are you going to do what you used to do or what you usually did? Or are you going to make this shift? And that to me is where Q-RIT is different than some of the other modalities. Because like you, I've done a lot in different things, different courses, different stuff. But Q-RIT to me is different in that way, and I love that.
We attract a lot of people who are already master healers, Reiki masters, hypnotherapy masters, shamans for like decades, and they come and they do Q-RIT, which is just 12-hour course. That's it. So it's a 2-day event that we filmed live, right? So two days, 12 hours. And what happens in that time is they realize that they have their own unique medicine. And for whatever reason, and I do know the reason, it's because these other modalities and courses that they're trying to help you learn their way. But that's not the ultimate way. I want to come to your workshop, Tammy. Like the way you do a session will be so different to the way I do a session because you've got a different frequency to me. You've got a different medicine. Might
Right.
be similar, but you're just going to have a different tone to it,
Yeah, yeah,
you know. And that's what makes it so wonderful when we all work together as a tribe.
yeah. I think
So
it's
I
great.
love this idea that reminding people that
Yes.
they are so unique and beautiful and special, and just helping them to stop taking life so seriously. It's kind
Yeah.
of like shaking them up a little bit.
Yeah.
And come on, you know what to do. You've been doing this for a long time. You've been helping people your whole life. Come on, you're like one of the most powerful people in the whole world. Just like, do you not
Yeah.
remember like that person you help all those other people? You know, like you're born to do this, and people go,
Yeah.
"Oh wow, yeah,
So it's a
I'm always the person people come to for advice. Oh yeah, I'm always the person that helps people when they're distressed. Oh yeah, I've been
yeah,
so
because
natural."
typically you are. Typically you are the person that people come to, as a healer. I mean, and we don't often translate those skills a lot of times, because people, just like you said, they don't remember who they are. you know, they they've been doing this forever, especially some of our, really older people. They're like 75, 80, and they've been a natural counselor all their life. They've been doing this. They've been a healer or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, well, I don't think I have anything to offer," and this and that. I'm like, well, hopefully, you got something down in all those years.
And
But
we take it to the quantum, Tammy. So
yes,
if we go into the quantum, so quantum for anyone who doesn't know is the smallest observable level, right? So it's the energy level. When you look at the wisdom that's in your DNA, it's in your ancestral line, like somewhere in your ancestry, someone's been a powerful healer. Like
yes,
that information is still there. You can bring that in. Somewhere in your ancestral line, someone was very wealthy, someone was very intelligent, someone was very courageous. Like we're just activating these things in us that are already there, but scientists call it junk DNA, right? They say that 97% of your DNA is junk, but it's just nonsense. Don't believe that. Like, do you believe
no,
that? Anyone? Let us know in the comments if you believe that this
yeah,
intelligence that makes everything like made 97% of you junk. It's just insane,
no,
right?
that doesn't
So
make
it's
any sense.
reminding people and they go, "Oh wow, yeah, actually, do you know my grandma? She always used to give us holistic medicine. You know, whenever my wife is from Pakistan, and so she's like, yeah, my grandma used to give us turmeric when we had this illness, or she would put an onion in my sock, and I would wake up and my headache was gone. You know, it's like all these different things in your ancestry. Like you know, this wisdom is there. It's in the
Yes,
quantum field. It's teaching people how to tap into it because you don't have to start from zero, but you have to learn how to listen and how to
yes.
drop in and access all these tools that you've
Mm,
got.
this is so good. That is so good and it's so powerful because you're right. I said the same thing one day because I'm a Reiki master as well and all these other things and sacred soul alignment, DNA activation, whatever, all kinds of stuff. But when I would do sessions, especially in person, which I don't do very many of those anymore, but when I would do those, I would do stuff that I didn't know. Like I never was taught, like so I knew that it was in, and I actually realized that I'm at least fourth generation here in my bloodline, but I didn't know. Like I stuff I learned, like I I was using a rattle and I didn't even know, that that was a thing. But when I noticed, all the things that I did, because people would ask me, what do you, I was like, I don't know. I just, I step in, I drop in and I just do it, and so I was okay, this is
Isn't
cool.
that when it gets the most fun too?
Yeah, yeah, because you
You,
can structure so much.
yeah,
It's kind of like this interview.
you called it the unknown before. I think you said those words. You were stepping into the unknown,
Yes.
and that's a really fun place to play. There's a great quote I love. It says, "The psychotic drowns in the same waters that the mystic thrives in."
Ooh.
And if you think about that, the psychotic drowns in the same waters that the mystic thrives in. So For a lot of people, when they enter the unknown, that's really scary for them. But for the mystic, when they enter the unknown, when they lose themselves, when they lose their mind, that's where the joy is. But for the psychotic, when you lose yourself and you lose your mind, and you don't know what's happening next, it creates anxiety and tension and depression and all of
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah.
So a lot of the sickness that's in our society right now is because people are so scared to just let go of the rope, so
Yes.
scared to just like embrace the darkness, embrace the
Yeah.
unknown. Like, oh, okay, I don't have to know everything that's ever going to happen.
Yes.
Give themselves that space to breathe. But most people are so stressed about money. They're so stressed about being responsible for their family. They like don't trust the cosmos. They don't trust nature. They
Yes.
don't trust this beautiful intelligence that turns an apple seed into an apple tree. And
Yeah.
when you can learn to trust and surrender and let go, and they're not fluffy etheric things, like they are they are deep things to play with, and there's many layers to it for most of us. It's like some of the deepest work you can do.
Yes.
But you realize, wow, I don't even have to breathe. Like my body breathes itself.
Yes. Yes. We don't
Oh,
have, that's not a worry that you have.
yeah, my heart beats itself,
Yeah.
right? Everything, my nails grow themselves, so I don't have to worry about it.
No.
Okay, well, maybe if I start to trust myself more, and start to trust my children more, and start to trust my neighbors and my friends and the cosmos, maybe then everything will grow as it's supposed to.
Yes. I say that to me it feels like the journey of, so like I like to swim, and I actually like to swim on my back better. Like I backstroke. And so I think about that, and it's like, to me, that's the journey. It's like actually laying down and trusting that the water is going to support, and it's funny because my husband goes, "How do you do that? I can't do that." And I said, "Well, I can help you." And then I told him, I said, "But you have to trust the water. So you have to trust it that it's going to support you." I said, "That's the only way you can do it." I said, I just, because he's tickled because I just lay back and then I'm gone. But it's that trust. And so this is the same thing. It's like trust that God is there for you, going to support you, that whatever you need is going to be there, whatever you desire.
When you're tense and when you're tight, you sink to the bottom, right? And
And you
when you're
just
just
lay.
open and
Yeah.
soft,
I even
you
did
flow.
experiments of just like laying, not even no kind of swimming or anything, just laying, and to see if it was going to support me. And yes, just lay.
Amazing analogy. Love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe everyone who's tuning in, maybe even in just your imagination, maybe you can just feel what that feels like to be floating on the top of that water and just feel that feeling of just totally surrendering wherever you are right now. Just seeing what that feels like, just to let yourself be carried, even just for a few moments. There's no fear of anything. You're not worried about anything. You're just totally letting go. Just see how you breathe differently. See how those little muscles around your eyes just soften. Tension just falls away in your body. And in that open and receptive state, you can start to receive wisdom from this higher place. If you make this a part of your daily practice, this can become your default state. There's a time for swimming and there's a time for floating, and you can know which is the perfect time for both. And if you just now come, take a nice deep breath and come back fully into your body, just ask if there's one piece of advice that you really could benefit from hearing right now, what would that be? There's one piece of advice, one thing that the cosmos would love for you to know right now, what would that be? And just trust the first thing that comes through. You might hear it, might be a vision, might be a knowingness, like what's the message for you right now? And you can ask questions if you want to ask for a deepener around this, or if it makes sense. Maybe you could write this down. And anytime you want to, you can come back to this place. Just take a breath, close the eyes, feel that feeling of being carried, of trusting and surrendering. And you can ask any questions of the cosmos that you'd like to. If you just do that one thing, your whole life's going to change.
Oh man, that was so powerful. That was so powerful. And the thing is like so quick. You know, it feels like something that you can do just in your day if you need to reset.
Yeah, anytime. You're just not taught at school or in our homes, most of us, how to check in with ourselves.
No.
Taught to trust these things outside of us instead of trusting what's inside.
Yes. I was gonna say, to me it felt like there there's a lot of fear around, listening to the messages that we receive through our bodies a lot of times.
But it's going to tell you to quit your job if you don't like it. It's going to tell you to stop eating that food that you keep eating. It's going to tell you to break up with that person if you don't love them. It's going to tell you to change whatever's not good. And so people just instead stay numb because it's easier. But then eventually you can only be numb for so long before you hit rock bottom and then things change anyway. So you might as well change it now. Don't
Yes.
let that person mistreat you for the next 5 years and then change. Like, kick them to the curb now if it's not serving you, and do it in a conscious way. And if you know that your job is not fulfilling you right now, like, make a plan. If it's to become a Q-RIT practitioner or create your own online courses, or if it's to, work with me or work with Tammi or whatever it is, or do you know we have visionaries in the world. I'm a visionary,
Yeah.
so I get these big ideas of how we can,
Yes.
transform the world. But we also get supporters.
Yes.
Some people are the visionaries and some people are the supporters. So if you're currently working building someone else's vision, you could build some vision that you actually believe in. So instead of me selling computer software, I could be working with a charity that actually, ends homelessness. That would be so fulfilling to me. I'd be doing a very similar thing, but for a whole different reason.
Yes.
If,
Yes.
if more of us aligned with conscious companies and we stopped funding these corrupt governments and companies that are hurting the planet, and instead we work with conscious companies or we build them if they don't exist,
Yes.
everything will change so quickly because I went to an award ceremony. I do human rights activism. I do animal rights activism as well.
Oh wow.
Anywhere where anyone's in a cage or anyone's being hurt or anyone's being suppressed, like I speak out for those people who can't speak out.
Yeah.
And I went to this awards ceremony. It was it's for a poultry company, and someone won an award for like killing the most chickens. I don't know how they killed so many billions of chickens, right? Um, and they were so happy. And I sat talking to one of their marketing team, and like, you must be really good at marketing. And then like, yeah, I am. And I said, do you know, the better you are at marketing, the more chickens they kill. And they're like, oh, I never really thought about that before. Like, the better you are at your job, the more animals die. And they're like, hmm. Oh, that's interesting. If we could take that person's marketing genius and get them to market Q-RIT, right? If we could get them to sell millions of copies of
Absolutely.
Q-RIT, right? And teach everyone how to be a quantum healer and teach everyone how to upgrade their whole life, then, that would be the dream. But instead they're working for Coca-Cola or someone, and poisoning people. And it's like just taking those shifts, like whoever's watching this right now, you just shift your focus and
Yeah.
instead of fueling these things that are hurting the planet, fuel things that are going to help the planet.
Yes.
We'll change the whole world in a decade.
I'm trying to tell you, and it's been so powerful. Um, it's been so powerful with the Q-RIT practice, like with the training and stuff. It's been powerful. And I found myself one of the modules I was doing, I found myself with a little resistance. And so, I did what we do, sat with it. And I was like, what in the world is this? And then I took a step back and I said, okay, I just need to put this down right now. So I just put it down, and it was like a day. And then the next day, I picked it back up and I said, I don't really know why I had a resistance to this. Because honestly, it's not anything that I don't know. Like I've been studying this stuff for so long that actually, when I looked at it, it made so much sense. You know how sometimes things can be so complicated, and then sometimes they're super easy, the way it flows, and the way you have the flow of it is super easy. And so I'm like, I don't even know what that was about. And why was I feeling that way? But I felt it like in my body, like a body type of constriction. And I was like, And so then I said, no, 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 I think it's okay. It's okay. I said, I think that was just a shifting for me.
Whenever I learn a new modality, I might resonate with 90% of it, but 10% I might not because that's that person's life and that's their journey. And I'll take the
Right.
90% that most of the time I probably resonate with 50% and I leave 50% because
Right.
that other person's talking about something really different and it's not my current truth.
Right.
But I don't discount the 50% that is helpful because of the 50% that's not. And
Right.
this
Right.
is one of the cool things. Like we might be on a really similar path, Tammy. There might be some nuances there, and I hope there are nuances. And we do a level one with Q-RIT, which is the foundation. It's
Mhm.
one technique. We have a level two, which is the advanced course, but you have to do the foundation first because it's so advanced. And then we have a master, so you're a Reiki master, so it works in a similar kind of way. You can
Okay.
become a Q-RIT master and you can teach and you can initiate people into level one and level two. So what I say to people is, I hope you become a better teacher of Q-RIT than me. Like I've launched it, but then you take it and you're going to add in your skills. I don't know, you've got a big music sign behind you. You're going to add in your musical skills. You're going to, put in, I don't know, whatever it is, your own tamminess to it. And when I come and sit in your workshop, I want you to teach me. I want to learn like your quantum skills. And that way we're all going to sharpen. Like I just literally had a session with someone. They're telling me how they do sessions and I'm telling them how I do it. And I'm learning a new technique from them. And I'm like, oh,
Yes.
cool. I'm writing it down. It's like
I
always
love that.
being a student and learning from each other. Because
Yeah.
that's, if we lived in a tribe, that's how it would be. If we
Yes.
actually lived like physically in a tribe, 100 of us, we'd all learn from each other. No one would be the superior person. Like you have
Yeah.
different skills to the other person. They might be better at cooking and you might be better at teaching. And everyone's gonna have their own beautiful magic. So that's really what we encourage is as close as possible because we aren't living together and you're in America and I'm in the UK.
Yeah.
It's like how can we be the best online tribe that we can be is
Yes.
what we're really creating.
I think this is so amazing and so magical. So magical. So I have one question that I ask everyone before I release you. What is that thing that if you could change anything in the world, what would that be?
I would help every single person experience unity consciousness. If every single person on earth had a direct experience that there is just one thing and we're all a part of it, that we're all a part of the one energy. There's just one energy. We're all that. If you know that experientially instead of just intellectually, you could never hurt another part of you. You would never cheat another person. You would never steal from them. You wouldn't leave a part of you starving in another country
Yes.
while we throw away 40% of food in the US.
Yes.
That would never happen if we were in unity consciousness. It's
Right.
one of it was my big breakthrough in 2016. I got the wow, they're like you're literally a part of me at the deepest level.
Yes.
And so if I help you, I help me. If we're like we all help each other, everyone wins. If we collaborate instead of compete, everyone wins. And this is quantum creation, right? It's like amplifying and magnifying each other's skills instead of trying to pull the other person down.
Yes.
So if everyone could have that, at least once when they're a child in school, if we could do some meditations on unity consciousness and just
Yeah.
remind everyone of that, there'd
Yes.
be no wars, there'd be no hunger, there'd be no poverty, there'd be no homelessness. Everything would be different.
God, that would be it. That is amazing because that's amazing. That is amazing. All right, if you want to share anything that you have coming up or anything that you are enrolling or anything like that, whatever, what you got
Yeah.
coming
If anyone would like to connect with me, so firstly, you can come and do the Q-RIT session completely free. Just join using the link. Follow me on social medias. It's Facebook. It's Luke Scott the Third. I like Roman numerals. Instagram is Future Proof Luke, and I have my YouTube channel, Luke Scott Official. I've got hundreds of videos, live trainings, recordings, like wherever you're at right now. If I can support you in any way, come reach out. I do mentorships, 6 months, 12 months. Let's transform your life. Don't make excuses. You're the only person who's going to transform your life. No one is going to come and like magically build a business for you. No one's going to
up?
magically come and like make you
Karen.
lose the weight. Like no one's going to drag you to the gym. So if you can be brave enough and bold enough to do that for yourself, everything's going to be amazing.
Yes, yes. That is powerful. I am so excited and grateful that Luke Scott the Third has come to join me today, and we have had this most amazing conversation. And I'm just grateful. And I'm always over the top when I have these discussions. However, if you are watching or listening and you're a spiritual entrepreneur and you want to get your message out, come and join me on Straight Out of Savannah. You can comment wherever you're listening or watching the video. You can find me also anywhere, all over social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, wherever you can find me. You can send me a message and we can get you signed up. So thank you so much for joining us on Straight Out of Savannah.